fast as possible, and I have two amazing people with me tonight on commentary. I have Rico and I have Redneck, both two respectable runners of Harry Potter. They'll be doing a lot of the commentary. I'm just going to be playing the game. But yeah, so I am good to go. I think countdown will start in about... Okay, so I'll do 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so... Yeah, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is a very, very well-known PS1 game. Obviously, it's Harry Potter, so it's very,
there is nothing about the starry sky
popular.
that night.
But this game actually is very broken. The world record in the 80% run has been brought down so
as
much in the past few
unsuspecting
years,
muggles slept,
and it's been held
a
by multiple
huge
people.
motorbike with a
It's a
giant
very cool
astride
run, a lot
it
of skips,
tumbled
a lot of
down from the
out-of-bounds
darkness.
glitches, a lot of
The giant,
RNG,
named Hagrid,
memory corruption,
left a
so you can see
blanket
a little
wrap
bit of
bundle on the
everything.
doorstep of number 4,
And yeah, so
Privet
Rico and
Drive.
Redneck will probably do most
Nestled
of
in
the
the
talking while
bundle
I chime in here
was
and
a
there, as I
baby,
want to just play the
Harry
game
Potter,
and just
the boy who
If I could just say
lived.
one thing real quickly.
For the next
so,
11
yeah,
years,
I
Harry
did
lived with his dreadful step-parents, the
Yes,
Dursleys,
shout out to
this guy
Redneck.
who's currently streaming it.
until that fateful day.
Yeah, Redneck.
Yeah,
when he received a
they've always
letter
been back and
inviting
forth on it in the
him
past year.
to
It's always
attend
one or the
Hogwarts
other
School
has had
of
it.
Witchcraft
Yeah, I had
and
the
Wizardry.
record. So-
Hagrid took Harry
God.
to
I was
Diagon
gonna say I had the
Alley
record
to
for a while.
purchase the
Redneck
most
actually came
unusual
back
list
like a
of
week or
school
so ago and took it
supplies.
back, and I'm really happy that he
Soon
finally did.
after,
He actually has
Harry
record
caught
in
the
every category.
Hogwarts
Rico has
Express from
record in
platform 9
all
and
the
3/4
miscellaneous
and
categories.
left the
Miscellaneous
Muggle
categories.
world
They're all-
No, it's
they're-
really funny. I got all the world records in the
Harry
main
sat beneath the
categories.
sorting hat,
Rico's got the meme
hoping that
report.
he would not be chosen for
They gotta
Slytherin
flex
House
on
or
it.
Gryffindor.
Super speed is the best
Not
category.
Slytherin,
Yeah,
eh?
yeah.
Said the
So,
hat in his ear.
we kind of just talked through
You
this
could be
entire
great.
1.5-minute cutscene
It's
at the
all here in
beginning.
your head.
Yeah, Harry's going to
Yeah,
Hogwarts.
Harry doesn't go
Road to
on there.
greatness.
Yeah.
So I saw someone
if you're
ask
sure,
the question in the chat.
better
This is the
be
PS1 version of the game,
Gryffindor.
but it's being played on the PS2. The first 2 or 3 Harry Potter games were unique in that every single console version is like a completely different game. So there's actually 5 totally different games called Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So this is just the PS1 version.
Yeah, and he's currently playing on the fastest language version, which is NTSCU American. Although there is a faster version, which is Portuguese, but
Welcome
it's being
to
played on
Hogwarts
PAL,
School of
which automatically
Witchcraft
makes
and
it slower than
Wizardry.
any NTSCU
I am Albus
yeah.
Dumbledore. No.
Just because of the lower
Oh,
frame rate. And then he's playing it on a PS2 because of fast disk speed, which is a pretty common thing with a lot of PS1 games. It just cuts the load times down by, I wouldn't say like roughly half.
Yeah, he's using the cheater button.
Yeah, I'm using a PS2 Slim, so yeah. So the first part of the run, we're gonna be doing actually a tutorial sequence where you learn how to do everything in the game. It's actually very technical. Rico and Redneck will cover what we're gonna be doing.
Yeah, and the first tutorial room is what we call it. There's a thing we do called ledge skipping, which is instead of Harry climbing up and losing like a second and a half, we angle our jumps in a way so we can just get above the next ledge above us to save some time. And we use that pretty extensively during this tutorial room.
Come on, Harry.
Yeah, I like to call it the tutorial tower. The more ledge skips you don't get, the more time you lose, and you can actually lose a lot of time with failing ledge skips. Like it adds up like crazy, for sure.
Yeah, there's like at least 6 you can do in the first room.
Yeah, it was like, I'm pretty sure, like, cause there's a lot of ledge skips that I don't go for in that room, and I want to say, like, it seems like it's small, but by the end of the tutorial, I'm gonna get like 15 seconds behind you guys.
Yeah, and he's gonna do a little thing where he's gonna skip past Ron's trigger to trigger some dialogue. So he's just gonna run right past it. Well, not run, but jump
Bad
past it.
RNG. I got the head tilt twice.
Yeah, this game does have like a handful of RNG. The thing there where nearly headless Nick decided to kind of stare at Harry and just like put his head back on his like joints.
Yeah, that's 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's one of the. It's probably the most minor RNG you have to deal with for the entire runs.
Pretty good.
Okay, that was good.
That was pretty good, yeah.
That was pretty solid.
I didn't go for
So
one
you
of
can
them,
get
but
4. Yeah, you can get 4 in a row right here, but it's pretty hard to get them all in one go. But getting 3 is pretty good.
Yeah, like usually if you miss one of the ones at top, you'll fall all the way down, and that's pretty much a reset. That actually happened to me in my first marathon run of this when I raced Redneck and Potterthon in 2019. That was really bad.
Oh, don't worry, that run was bad for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, so basically the rest of the tutorial is just gonna be ledge skips, you know, I'm actually collecting feathers in each room to unlock the next door, and that rat actually hitting me doesn't lose that much time, but it's just kind of funny. They can just get in the way sometimes. There's actually
we should probably bring up. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's actually a 1-frame padlock skip that I'm gonna be trying to go for. It's not really consistent, but if you get it, it saves a lot of time. So.
Yeah, the moment when he collects the feather, he has 1 frame to hit square to unlock the door, and that saves like maybe like 2 seconds.
I got it.
Oh!
What the heck is this tutorial?
Now I've lost my wand. Use the R1.
One thing we should mention though is the house points. So there's like doing various things across the castle will cause you to get house points. You know, like killing rats. Because I guess Hogwarts has a pretty bad rat infestation. And just like the way Dill was moving the like little stone tablets that he was climbing, he was making sure to not put them in their final spot, because every time you gain house points, it's more frames you lose later on in the run, because there's house point hourglass cutscenes, I think like 3 times across the run, and obviously the more house points you have, the longer it takes for the hourglasses to fill.
Yeah.
It's only like a matter of frames, but it is like just little small time saves you can get by getting as few house points as possible.
Yeah, and like basically, sometimes the game will tell you that Gryffindor is winning, sometimes it'll tell you Slytherin's winning. I don't. Did you just say that? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over.
No. No,
but yeah, it's like when you get to these little cutscenes, it's just random whether or not it says Gryffindor or Slytherin's winning until the very end, where Dumbledore gives you 300 points and you automatically
nice to meet you.
Spoilers.
Come on,
it's actually which house is winning depends on how far you are in the game. Like early on, Gryffindor is winning, and then towards the end, Slytherin starts to pull ahead of you. But it's completely rigged. There's no actual like thing you have to do to make sure you win. It's just by the end of the game, you just pull ahead again. It's just completely for story purposes.
What he's gonna do right here, he's gonna try to cut the corner to not talk to Ron. And he got it. So that's like 2 seconds right there.
The cutscene skips in this game, a lot of them are very easy. Like,
yeah, it's just like the window to trigger the cutscene is way smaller than you think it would be, so you can just like kind of like hug the wall, and then Ron will just like not talk to you away.
So like the mechanics of flying, so the fastest way to fly is just fly straight, but anytime you start moving, you'll lose a little bit of speed. So we want to try to fly as straight as possible and take as many minimum turns as we can.
Excellent tech.
Which is why you see Dill going for
The
like,
next
the
test.
edges.
Fly
of the
through.
rings.
Ready, Potter?
this part's pretty straightforward, so if you actually want to read a couple of the motions, now's a pretty good time.
Alright, let's just take a minute to let everyone know what we're raising money for. We're raising money for the Alzheimer Fonden, which is the Swedish national fundraising organisation focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. Their aim is to increase fundraising to the benefit of scientific research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's. I'm sure most people here have known someone who's suffered with a similar disease or Alzheimer's itself. So yeah, it's a great cause. I'm glad we're raising money for it again this year. So yeah, thanks a lot for everyone who's running and commentating and donating and everything, and viewing of course. So yeah, thanks a lot.
A little inside baseball, if you don't get one of the rings from the last phase of this ring collecting thing right here, you actually get a troll key that you wouldn't normally come across in 8%, but if you do an 8% no major skips, that getting the troll key allows you to skip like 10 or so seconds for that category.
Oh, that's linked to
but we don't do it for anything.
Yeah. The sad thing is, I'm pretty sure it's still faster to just finish the mini game, but if you do happen to like fail it, then it's just a nice time save you can use as a backup later.
All right, best dialogue. Hold up, ready?
Hi, Harry. No, I am not.
It's the best dialogue.
Hello, Harry. She's rather.
Yeah. The dialogue skips you do lead to a lot of like really humorous things like that.
Yeah. A lot of we always like to joke about the dialogue skips because they always get cut off because when you're doing the speedrun you don't get to hear the full sentences. So that's the big news.
Yeah, like the one coming up, he doesn't even talk at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just doesn't say anything. All right, so there are multiple classes we have to go to in the games to learn the spells, but in any percent we only do 2 of them. This is a cutscene skip. You literally just walk around the guy, and then you skip the dialogue. But yeah, so going to class, there are like these obstacle courses, which I don't think any school would ever have these because this is like a safety hazard. But you have to traverse through these obstacle courses, and there's actually an RNG involved. Sometimes the tables can spawn in a weird position, and if you get a ledge grab, it's an extra like 2 seconds, right? A second and a half?
It's like a second and a half.
Yeah, but luckily I didn't have any, so that was actually a pretty good obstacle course. I think there's 4 total classes in the game,
Welcome.
but we only go to 2 to 90%.
Complete.
So.
Now you try.
I guess
Get
there's
ready.
5 if you want to count potions. There's 5, but there's only 4 of this type where you're learning a spell.
That was good.
Yeah.
So when he's doing these little spell things, there's a small chance he can get something called a ghost input, where the little cursor will freeze and he has to press triangle. So it didn't happen right there.
That was
But
good.
you just normally just do the
Excellent.
cycle as you would normally do, but it'll sometimes throw you off because it like freezes for that one small second.
Well done,
Yeah,
Potter.
and it's kind of just one of those things where, like, as you run the game more and more, you learn how to react to it whenever it happens.
Now,
And you just
lift the
catch it
charm.
immediately and just hit triangle.
I swear it has something to do with like the scratches on your disc. Because I got a new disc, but I've never had it happen since.
I rarely get it.
Press the.
I don't know, like, I don't get it often, but
Wingardium
my disc is
Leviosa.
like almost completely new because I had to buy a replacement and it has no scratches.
Well
But I still get
done.
it from time to time.
Yeah.
I think it's just like something within the game's coding just messes up.
it could
For
also
all
be
you Hagrid fans out there,
PS2
Hagrid's
model,
coming up.
maybe.
Oh yeah, PS1 Hagrid.
Yeah. So yeah, so we'll be doing Charms
Dear
class,
heart,
which is
you
what we
can
just
get
did, and
pop
we learned
around.
Wingardium Leviosa, and we're gonna learn one more spell, which is Incendio, which actually has its own uses, and it has some glitches to it later in the game. We'll see. But now
There's actually quite a lot of tech to Incendio.
Yeah. So now Hagrid wants us to meet him at his hut for some tea. We're gonna try to leave the castle, but Malfoy's actually gonna be in front, and he's gonna try to stop you from leaving to go to the castle grounds. But so you're gonna have to fight him. We can actually manipulate the fight pretty consistently, and it has really
Well,
predictable
Pop. This
patterns.
is just trapped in a Wingardium Leviosa.
For some reason, so you have to lift these 2 hourglasses, and it like pushes the door, and it pushes Malfoy out of the way for some weird
Leviosa.
reason. But yeah, so
Yeah,
we're gonna fight
naturally.
Malfoy right now.
It's magic.
Yeah. And then we have
Put
one
the
more
hourglasses
class.
on the pedestals and it locks the door.
I'm really quiet. I'll do that in a little bit.
Ow! You're not leaving.
Yeah, we can manipulate the fight. I think these are Slim Bit strats. Either Slim Bit or Nail.
I have no idea.
I don't remember which how many strats, but you can basically manipulate the fight to how you want it. And they'll throw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single phase of the fight, Wingo's gonna do some very specific movement to make sure Malfoy does exactly what he wants him to do.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Crab.
It's flexing on us.
Oh yeah, they do some really nice voice acting here.
Yeah. So in the last phase, I'm actually gonna try to throw the wizard cracker at like while Malfoy's getting damaged from the first one, and it's not that precise, but it saves a decent amount of time. It saves like a whole cycle of this fight. So
Crab, you.
I think you can get a triple hit in the last phase, but it's like really hard.
You can. You have to. You
Yeah.
have to like basically pick up the thing like on the same frame you walk over it.
Yeah. The
Super
double
easy,
hit.
though. Yeah, the first one is really not difficult.
Because you think like he's like stunned, so you have all this time to throw it, but like when you throw it, there's like some lag involved, and then he'll just suddenly move away and
Okay.
you won't get him.
Yeah. Also, like the way Malfoy moves when he's not stunned is very deceptive. Like he'll like move and then he'll stand in place and you think he's about to throw something, so then you just throw something at him and then he was like, well, just kidding, and then just moves to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
So-
some great humor right there. One of them goes to the wrong way.
Yeah.
That was actually a really good like first part of the game. Like that was pretty good.
Meanwhile,
Like it
the
didn't really
house
have
Yeah,
any
that's
major mistakes.
Yeah, that was really
are
solid.
slowly
Yeah.
filling up.
So coming up, we're going to be doing Herbology Class, which we'll learn Incendio, and afterwards we're going to be doing the first major skip in the game, which saves like 7 minutes, called Fireseed Skip. So Hagrid wants
Ravenclaw.
Harry to fetch him fire seeds for something, and we can actually skip this. But
Hufflepuff.
the problem is with doing Fireseed Skip once, we have to go past the gate that opens
Slytherin.
after getting the fire seeds twice in the game, so you have to do fire seed 2 times. It used to be a relatively
Gryffindor.
hard trick, but it's gotten easier over the past few years with more consistent setups.
Gryffindor are in the
There's
lead
faster
on
setups than what
house
I'm gonna do, but I think the setup that I do as well as most other people do, it only loses like I think like
consecutive
2
year.
or 3 seconds compared to doing the fastest method, because it just has extra pause buffer inputs. We'll have Redneck and Rico explain pause buffering and stuff right before we do Fireseed Skip. So.
That or we can explain it afterwards.
Yeah. Explaining afterwards would probably be better.
Hello,
The
Harry.
greatest
You'll need
model
to
in any
come
PS1
round me
game
hut.
ever.
Yeah, so we have another one of those.
We unearthed some HD PS1 Hagrid models, and they look pretty good. Just saying.
We have another one of those obstacle courses like the last time for Charmer's Class. This one's really interesting because you're supposed to move all the pillars to the center, but you only have to move the third one, and you can traverse to the rest of them and get to class without having to move all of them, which is pretty funny. So yeah, this will be another spell mini game to learn Incendio, and we're gonna be using Incendio like 4 times in the run. And there's actually a thing we'll be able to do with Incendio called Fast Incendio. I'll have Rico and Rednick explain Fast Incendio.
Yeah, so what happens is he's going to start doing the Incendio spell, and as soon as he gains control to do it, he's going to do the first input, and it's the same input the whole time. And so the next 2 inputs, he's going to do right one after the other. So when the circle is right above the input, he can do 2 at a time. So he can do 1, then 2, then the other 2, and do it really fast.
Yeah, it'll make more sense when you see him do it.
Yeah.
Well done. Now
Like when it's best like to see how Incendio exactly works, but basically there's like a ring flying around a circle and you have to hit the button when the ring goes
use
through the
your
button.
hit the correct. Incendio!
That's
Every single Incendio has a set button pattern, so there's no RNG to it, and it's really just like the first input you can buffer it, and then the second 2 inputs you hit them in a specific frame where the button is in the ring but it hasn't left the ring either, so you're able to just squeeze 2 inputs in.
yeah.
This is the sad part.
Yeah, so coming up is the first major trick in the game, so I'm gonna need some concentration for this, of course, because if you mess it up, you lose like 20 to 30 seconds. I should be fine, but you never know. Sometimes your inputs can not fully get buffered. But yeah, we'll be
I'll
doing
stay
this.
quiet and explain it afterwards.
Should be fine.
There
though.
you are, Harry. The plant means some very...
Should be okay. Alright. So I'm gonna go over to this corner. I'm gonna set it up.
Endo!
Alright, nice. Got our first try.
Very
Nice.
nice.
Awesome.
Very good.
Very
Nice.
nice.
We do that
when we
twice.
talked about plus buffers before, to get to the specific angles
Come
we
on, me,
need to
Harry.
keep climbing up the trees, we do something called pause buffer, which is we'll enter pause while still holding down the pause button.
This is the
And then
entrance to the Quidditch pitch.
put our inputs in
The
on the
first
D-pad,
shoes like us aren't allowed to
down,
play.
whatever, and then hit X,
I hear they make.
and
Here
that
comes
will register the input on the D-pad
Come on,
while also
Alfred.
registering
Alfred,
you're
please
still holding
help.
down the start
Come
button.
on.
So it'll go back to being paused right after you hit X, so it moves forward 1 frame with your inputs.
Yep.
And he does that all the way up to the tree.
Yeah,
I
and
think
just
I'll
the way
see if you can
he's
any
even
better.
able to clip into the tree in the first place is just kind of just how the physics of the game works. Is that like the specific angle that he was walking into the tree kind of just like pushed him into the bush or whatever.
Yeah.
And then with the specific pause buffer input, he was able to grab like a little small ledge that you're not supposed to be able to, and then with it he just jumps over the fence. Yeah, so that's a trick that has to be done twice, but it skips basically like the entirety of the Castle Grounds section of the game, where you have to like get the fire seeds for Hagrid. There's like a little mini boss fight, and it's a good like 7-minute long section, and then each fire seed skips probably like 45 seconds to do, so it saves a good like 5 or 6 minutes over the entire run.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. I just chased Malfoy on a broomstick to get Neville's Remember All back. There wasn't really much to it other than you just have to get close to him and hit him with your broomstick. You can, to the last hit, if you're fast enough, you don't lose much speed because, we talked about earlier with flying, you want to fly in a straight line and not lose speed. You can get the last hit a little earlier before that, but that was still really good. So this has actually been a pretty good run so far.
Yeah. I think the best thing about that Malfoy fight is that he's throwing bludgers at you, and like he just has this infinite supply of bludgers on his person.
Everyone's
I think another runner, his
soon
name
as
is Egder, has the distinguished position of being the only one who's died during that.
No, I've died during it too.
No, I think I've died there also.
I have
Oh, wow.
It was either in no major skips or it was in 100%. And I was coming back from Fireseed and like I damage abuse on the way back, so I was at like 2 hit points and I got hit by 2 of the
So now we're going to be doing 3 Quidditch matches in a row. So this one's part of the story. We're going to be facing Hufflepuff. And we're actually going to be doing a glitch after the first match called Quidditch Abuse, where we're actually going to be manipulating the memory in the story mode. So basically, after this match, we're going to save our game, we're going to go back to the main menu, and then we'll have the option to play Quidditch outside of the main story. So we're going to do the Hufflepuff match again, and then afterwards we're going to do the Ravenclaw match. And when we load our file back into the main game, the game actually thinks we beat Hufflepuff in the story, so it's actually going to jump us ahead in the game into the Diagon Alley section, which is usually towards the, I guess, 3rd, like 75 percentile of the game. But,
it's so basically it cuts out almost everything between the 2 Quidditch matches in the story, Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, and that amounts to like almost all of the dungeons and like 99% of the upper castle. So you are straight up saving like 20 minutes.
It was a big discovery that was actually, I think it was found by, wasn't it found by like a Let's Player? And they posted it
It was on my YouTube comment.
Yeah. So
like I guess the best way to show it is that like there's any percent, and then recently we made any percent no major skip, which like spans the Fireseed Skip, the Quidditch Abuse, and 2 other tricks.
Yeah.
And so Fireseed's like 5 or 6 minutes, but the gap between the any percent record and the no major skips record is almost 30 minutes. So that just shows how much time it's like the bulk of it is this specific strat.
Yep. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, so we're gonna be saving and quitting and going back to the main menu. Actually, recently there was a strat found by Rico where during the Quidditch matches outside of the main story, if you keep your memory card out right after you load your game, it saves like 6 seconds, because the game will check to save your game after each Quidditch match, and if you don't have a memory card in there, it'll just boot you out. So yeah, that was found like a couple like weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah, it's just it was one of those things where, you know, at the because you save and quit here, and then every time you do a Quidditch League match, after it finishes, it asks you if you want to save the game. That way it's just saving the file. And I guess like nobody ever thought to just like take the memory card out, because you don't have to save after the initial save and quit for the rest of the run. So I was just doing a run, and I was like, you know, what happens if like you just take the memory card out, and it, instead of like bringing up the 3 files to save to, it just says there's no memory card detected, do you want to continue?
It's pretty fun.
And then you hit X and it just lets you continue, and it's 3 seconds each time.
Yeah, it's like it's literally free time save. And there's actually another free time save that was found a few weeks ago also by a PC runner of this game. But we're not gonna spoil that yet. And it's it's so dumb.
It's just so jarring.
I'm so happy that Redneck's new world record has the new strat, because it's literally, like, I don't like calling things free in speedrunning. This is free, like it's literally free.
I mean, I think it's fair to call something where, well, I won't spoil the thing later, but something where you have to do basically nothing except take a memory card out for this. I think it's fair to call this free.
Yeah.
Every time I go up to it, I'm just expecting it to be free.
So this is basically the same exact match as in story mode, only actually at the end of this match, if I time it right, I can actually get an instant snitch grab at the very end of the match. But other than that, it's the same thing. And another thing to note, actually, Quidditch actually lags a lot on console, and emulator does not lag at all, which is very interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to say that this is actually probably a good time for donations, because we're just going to be doing this and then the Ravenclaw match the next few minutes. So if you have any donations, Josh, now is a perfect time to do them.
Cool, perfect. I was about to ask anyway. Yeah, we got a $50 donation from Kryptonix. I think I'm reading that right. Who doesn't leave a message, but they did put it towards the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword any percent demise back in time. Which is described as the glitch known as Back in Time has become so crazy that now we are able to defeat the final boss of this game whilst being on the title screen. which sounds like a laugh. That donation goal is set at $500, and now with that $50 donation, we're at $225.
Hell yeah.
So we're almost halfway there, and I believe that run is later today. Yes, it is. It's in about 10 hours from now.
Okay.
So if you want to see that, get your donations in. And yeah, thanks a lot, Cryptomax.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I got the Instagram too, so that was pretty nice. You have to time it pretty well. You can actually use the milliseconds. I use the milliseconds on the timer on screen to time it. Once it reaches like 0.7, that's when I press X. But yeah, if you have any more, Josh, now's like the best time for everything.
I don't, but I can tell you about another upcoming thing as well.
Heck yeah.
Later on today, we've got a Secret of Evermore run, and there's a bid war for the hero name, as those are always fun. It says, Colin Bolts will name the hero of the game. This is shown on screen throughout the entire run. There's a lot of room for characters as well. We've got some fairly long names. Currently winning, though, is a short name, Dio, $85. Of
course.
You got How at 20, but then there's Death Mike, Death Mick, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to read that, and that's $10. So yeah, if you want to get your hero custom name for the Secret of Evermore run for the hero, it's only $85 or you can support one as well.
Awesome. Another thing to note in Quidditch, every time you get hit by the bludgers, it actually lags the game a lot. It doesn't lose like any significant amount of time, but you do lose a little bit of time every time you get hit by the bludgers. So I'm trying not to get hit by those, but if it does happen, it just happens. The Ravenclaw match actually has a different ring pattern compared to Hufflepuff. This one's a little more based on sharp turns, and not only that, the lag, it makes it a lot more difficult for this one. So missing rings costs, I think, 3 seconds per ring. Correct, right?
I thought it was 1.5.
Oh, wow.
So I don't want to miss any rings. It's really easy to miss rings on this match, but the pattern is
so like when he's talking about the lag, like when he's doing his pulling down on the D-pad or whatever, like the game tries to compensate for it, and it'll just like act like he's holding it down forever.
Yeah, it just lags and just like you just get flying completely to the right and you just completely miss the ring.
Yeah.
The worst offender of it really is the very end of the 100% run. You do a Quidditch match against Slytherin, and it is the laggiest thing ever. Like it's straight up like I call it the true final boss because it's harder than anything in the final boss.
It really is.
And that it is the worst Quidditch that like from the PlayStation 1 games. I'd say it's the worst Quidditch, even worse than like the really bad mechanics in Harry Potter 2.
And Chamber of Secrets' snitch and grabbing mechanics are really terrible. You have to they replace the meter with like an actual hand, and you have to you have to time and like aim and just grab, and it's awful.
Yeah, so because we did Quidditch Abuse, we exited where we last saved, and we went back to the Quidditch arena entrance, and Hagrid's actually standing out there because again the game thinks we beat Ravenclaw in the game in the story mode. So now we jumped right ahead into the story. We're not towards the end of the story, but we're getting close in terms of like
the middle, like the last third of the game.
80% no major skips. This would be about 55 minutes in.
Yeah, so it's close to like the middle half of the game. Diagon Alley.
It's more than an hour into the 100% run.
Yeah, Diagon Alley. So we're gonna be first collecting Knut, Sickles, and Galleons from our bank, but we have to collect the coins ourselves through these minecart mini games.
We're gonna do that. You need paperwork.
Yeah, and to do that, you need to get into your vault, and to do that, you need to collect paperwork on the most slippery floor in video game history. We're actually be doing a lot of cool platforming with the floor. Like, I don't have much control over it, but I'm gonna be doing some maneuvering and stuff, and actually bouncing off some walls and doing a whole bunch of cool things to get the paperwork. And once we acquire all 3 coins from the bank, we're going to be doing a series of minigames, which 2 of them have extreme RNG to them. You can lose a lot of time to the minigames. And yeah, it can pretty much make or break a run. A good run from a bad run. I actually, in the run I did offline today, I got the god RNG for the frog game. So I'm probably gonna get really bad luck during this run.
God, frog.
But we'll talk more about that when we get there.
Good afternoon.
But for
It's
now,
funny what the game
cross
devs did
button.
with Brain Gods.
Be
They took
careful,
one sentence
that a
from the book
bonus
and
collect
one
as many
mention from the movie about the goblins waxing the floors so like meticulously, and they made a whole mechanic out of it. It's so frustrating.
yeah, it's pretty funny. But now we're gonna be collecting coins, and we'll have Rico and Redneck talk about the differences between this and 100% for this minigame.
Oh boy, I can go on an entire tangent about this.
So you go ahead.
Okay, so in any percent, all you have to do is collect enough points to fill the meter. It's pretty easy. It's essentially on score. In 100%, you see there's these weird gems that keep showing up, and these are called the bonus gems. And in 100%, if you collect all of the bonus gems, well, I guess if you do it here also can. But if you collect all the bonus gems in one of these Gringotts mini games, you are awarded a wizard card. And wizard cards are required for 100%, and you have to collect every single bonus gem. If you miss even one, you don't get the card. And you cannot quit this mini game. So once you start it, you have to sit through the entire thing, which is probably about 3 minutes long. So if you, in 100%, if you miss one gem, you lose 3 minutes.
You lose the run.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah, you essentially lose the run. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had like 6 or 7 world record runs and died to this exact thing.
It's horrible. And 80% luckily does not have to worry about that. You can actually get hit by all those barricades and still have enough coins. Like it's that easy.
Yeah, I would say like the bronze part is really easy. It's so easy that at one point I actually was doing an 80% run. I wasn't paying attention and got all the gems. So it gave me the wizard card.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you actually do want to avoid getting. You want to avoid at least one gem in any percent just for that. But yeah, like the bonus gems, like I don't know if I'd call them hard because it is completely consistent, but it's just one of those things where it's just very scary to get to it in either a hundo run or an all wizard cards run. Just because if you miss one, just the run is over. I remember when I started running hundo, my first run, I think I lost 9 minutes in this section alone just to bonus gems, and then like the next run I did, it's just all saved.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but yeah. So in 80%, luckily, like in literally we have 2 more of these auto scroller sections. Like I said before, you can literally get hit by these barricades that they warn you about, and you'll lose coins every time you get hit. So like the one thing up right here, but you can actually get hit by all of them and still have enough coins in 80% to not have to do this section again. Because if you fail these sections, they just make you do it again until you collect all the coins.
This is just literally free.
It's basically free. Yeah.
I guess we should also mention how they let you redo the minigame. If you accidentally leave the minigame, you're not allowed back in, so that's another thing in Hundo. Where if you fail the minigame and then somehow accidentally leave it, then you actually just kill the run, because then the little part is forever.
Or you can be like Ringo, where he's doing an 80% run and he completes it, and then he decides to go back in.
Oh yeah, I killed a run like this was last year. When I was trying to beat when Nitroff had the record. I was on a run, and I remember Redneck had just come into my chat, and I was like, "Yo, Redneck," and then I accidentally clicked yes on the try again, and I literally ruined the run. Like, you lose like 3 minutes, and that's pretty much all it is. And I remember
all you have to do is like press square throughout this dialogue, and it's automatically selected on nose. For some reason, you had your finger on the D-pad.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's because I was talking to one of the goblins. Because when we talk to the goblins outside of the doors, we trigger the mini games, like the collecting meters. You have to toggle over to yes. So I think my brain for some reason was like, oh, go left on the D-pad, and I did. Well,
basically the menuing is not consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh, if you have any more donations, you can definitely do something.
I can tell you about some prizes that we've got for this event.
Definitely go for it.
Alright, we got a couple prizes running this event provided by our sponsors, the ViewSonic and Spencer. We have a ViewSonic Elite XG270 QG gaming monitor. That's available for a minimum donation of $30. So if you donate
Congratulations.
$30 or
Raise
more
it.
over the course of the event, so in multiple donations works as well, you're up for the running for the ViewSonic Elite Gaming Monitor.
Wow.
And then our grand prize for this event is a Nintendo Switch, kind of a hard commodity to come by nowadays.
It sure is.
Yeah. But we've got one, and we're giving it away for a minimum donation of $50 over the course of the whole event. So yeah, $50 or more in multiple donations over the whole event. Kaspersky provided it, and they'll give it to you for that. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your donations, and I hope you maybe win something.
Those sound like
Also
some
been to
really
Pride
good
Express,
prizes.
like 2 months ago
honestly.
when this whole like situation started, and it was like couldn't buy one, and everything on like was like third-party sellers selling it for like $800 to $1,000. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's insane.
Crazy
Yeah.
times we live in.
So we're gonna be wrapping up the last section of Gringotts, so we can actually start talking about the mini games coming up. So there's gonna be 3 of them, and as I said before, 2 of them are going to be completely RNG, and they can lose you a lot of time. And we'll have these 2 lovely gentlemen talk about them while I collect the last of the coins.
I call it.
I'm still jumping joy since Wingo just admitted to me that the Peacock is actually RNG.
I mean, yeah, like
In the very beginning, it's RNG, but you can't manipulate it.
you can manipulate him, but
They all
still
say-
he can still take some turns that are unpredictable.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the
those
first,
are-
so the first thing he's gonna do is something called toads, or like toad RNG. And so at the very beginning, he should be looking at the boxes on the bottom to see if any of them move. If any of them do move, that means the toad's down there. If it doesn't move, the toad's upstairs and loses a little bit of time. And then he just has to like gauge where the toad's gonna be based on like after he's done the first one. So if he does the first one and if it's downstairs, they could all be downstairs. But if it's upstairs, the next one will always be down. So going up and then going down and then going back up is like the worst. Having all 3 down is the best.
Yeah, it's a pretty
It's
interesting.
the biggest offender of RNG.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
You can lose like a
Oh,
lot
I've
of time there. Yeah.
really big for this game.
Yeah. How this game? Yeah, this category in particular has actually gotten super optimized over the past year. Now, if you have a bad Diagon Alley, it can basically kill your run if you're trying to go for a world record.
Yeah.
It's
Going
very
for a PB.
yeah. I mean we've all had plenty of PBs with bad Diagon Alley, so luckily you can still PB with it even at a high level. So. But I think that's what makes this game fun though, is like, you never know what RNG pattern you're gonna get. But hey, I could get the God pattern again in that'd be kind of nice. We'll see what happens.
So after the toads is the peacock. So the guy's like, I need you to go get 3 feathers from the peacock. And when you enter the room, he can be like really close to you, or he can be in the back. That's really like the RNG element of it. But he's really tricky to catch. So like, what the game wants you to do is just stay over him and move with him for a set amount of time each time for 3 feathers.
You can return.
And so he really does move based on where you're going as well, and where he thinks he can turn and try to lose you. But a lot of people have a lot of trouble with that, and I mean,
It's very finicky bird.
yeah, I still have trouble with it as well. Sometimes he'll move in directions where you're just like, there's no way he should have moved right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
you also can't use your wand against the peacock because allegedly it's very dangerous. So.
Oh yeah, you can just flip into the guy. He'll
Yeah,
make
if
it
you-
over.
Yeah, if you flip into the peacock, Ollivander, who's the guy that you're doing it for, be like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. And, yeah, I guess peacocks have this great innate magical power where if you attack them, they just like blow up or something. I don't know.
You found. Be quick though.
Okay, so I actually
Okay,
got
so
one.
that was like the best like first toad.
Okay, I got one up.
The closest boss
This isn't that
on the
bad.
floor.
Up, down. So if a toad is on the upper floor, he'll be on the down floor the next turn, guaranteed. So this actually isn't that bad of an RNG pattern. Like down, up, down is decent.
It's like their second best scenario.
Okay.
It's just the fact that the first one was in the literally best spot. Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
This is a decent one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I see you've collected.
definitely. So now we're gonna have the peacock, which, like we've talked about, he can be very finicky, and you can manipulate the pattern, but he can also take random turns when you think he's not going to. So
There's
let's
also
hope.
a small chance that he can like glitch out and like teleport a little bit against like the side of the wall, which is really bad.
I must warn
Oh yeah, that's like that glitch can happen. It's not like a run killer or anything, but it can happen. So it looks like he's actually in the
with
front.
CPL. There's a chance that it can crash the game.
Oh
That was a
really?
really good peacock.
Yeah, so far.
Oh, don't do that. He's gonna turn.
Oh, fudge. Okay, this isn't that bad so far. It could be better.
Yeah, like the strat to do is to get on
Okay.
the longest little
It's
hallway
not
that
bad.
I'm on right now.
That
Because
wasn't that bad, actually.
Yeah. There's also like a cooldown period where after you grab a feather, like there's like a, I want to say like 5-second window before you can grab, before you can pick up another one, which is why you kind of saw Dill just standing in front of the peacock.
Oh yeah, by the way, in that peacock room there was invisibility cloaks that you can pick up, but it does nothing. It really does nothing. It allows you to get up on the peacock, but once you get on the peacock, he still runs. So it doesn't
Excellent.
matter.
My eagle.
Yeah.
His treats are.
This last mini game
Last minute game.
is you're literally feeding an owl, and the cycles are actually like these owls are actually on a cycle the moment you enter the room, and it's actually very consistent. Like there's really not a whole lot to this, but basically you don't want any of those surrounding owls to eat these treats, or else it just loses a lot of time. You have to feed this. For some reason, this game likes the number 3, because 3 coins, 3 items for Diagon Alley, 3 treats, and 3 feathers, and 3 toads. So you have to feed.
Matches.
Yeah, so you have to feed legit, like honestly. So you have to feed 3 treats total, and then once you feed 3 treats, you'll actually get an owl feather. And I could have actually gotten a little bit faster on this, but it's still pretty good. And now after getting this feather, we will have what we need to cure Norbert, which we actually weren't even introduced to because we skipped everything.
Yeah,
because of Quidditch
we
Abuse.
didn't explain why we're even in Diagon Alley, because this does not happen in the book.
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah. Hagrid needs to make a tonic because Norbert the dragon we didn't hatch is sick. We skipped the part where in the game where you hatch Norbert because that's in the Fireseed section. So Norbert is alive even though we didn't birth him, and now he's sick.
Well done.
Yeah, if you were paying attention to Hagrid, what he was saying when we first got here, he says,
Home
"Why don't
again
you
at
go
last.
get all the
Now
stuff?
we'll
I'm gonna
give
go
the
to the
dragon
pub and
tonic
just
to
hang out."
Norbert.
That's literally what he says.
Yeah, he says I'm off to the leaky cauldron to get a butterbeer. And if you perfectly time your dialogue skip, you can make him say I'm off to the leak. It's actually really difficult.
He'll want to go.
So now we're actually going to be entering the Forbidden Forest, which is actually a very technical part of the game. There's a lot that's going to be
Harry,
happening
Ron,
in
and
this section of the
Hermione
run.
spent most of
We're
their free
doing
time
a
in
skip,
Hagrid's hut,
actually a few
trying
skips,
to
as well as some
convince
fast
him that he
incendios,
couldn't keep
some
Norbert his
manipulations
beloved
of
dragon.
the some
Eventually,
enemies.
after much coaxing, Hagrid
And yeah, it's
agreed.
actually a very
That
cool
night,
part of the run.
Harry
But you
carried
can lose a
Norbert up
decent
to the
amount of time
tallest tower.
if
Ron's
things do
brother
not go your
Charlie
way.
had
And we're
arranged
also
to
going to
collect
be
the dragon from
purposely
the tower
giving
and
ourselves
return him to
damage
Romania.
for a death abuse
Once
coming up
Norbert
later
had
in the
been
run
freed, however,
after we collect
Malfoy
the sloth.
sprang his trap.
So we'll be
Harry
also
was
purposely
caught by
hurting
Professor
ourselves
McGonagall.
for that later on.
For his
and
detention,
I would say this
Harry
and
was to
the
make his
dungeons
way
are,
into the
like, my two
Forbidden
favorite parts
Forest
of the run.
and search
Yeah,
for
so
a wounded
Redneck and Rico,
unicorn.
you guys can explain the Forbidden Forest, what I'm about to do with Bridge Skip. We already explained Fast Incendios, so...
The
Let's
first
split
thing is
up.
the fast
It should show. Be careful. I better go.
And then
before I
after
come
that,
back.
he's going to get across the log by skipping around it. And then he's going to do something called Bridge Skip. So Bridge Skip, you're supposed to do another Incendio, but it's a little slow. So what we do is we go to the side of the bridge, and we jump off from a specific point so that we can clip into the side of this tree and do a ledge grab onto it. And that allows us to then jump off of it and get around the damage triggers of the thorn bushes that are on the bridge.
Yeah, I'm
That
gonna need
saves
some...
like 12 seconds.
Yeah, I'm gonna need
Yeah,
some
I think it's
concentration. So... I'm gonna try to get it for... Hopefully get it first try. If not, it's not a big deal. Nice, first try.
Very nice.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, a
awesome.
lot of that is similar concepts to the Fireseed Skip, just like clipping into the specific spot where you can grab a ledge.
So turtles are a little bit RNG just by that was really fast. And so what he's gonna do here is he's gonna take some damage on it because you get free hits and this is you any time by taking damage on these little turtles.
Yeah, and like Dill said, in the part after the sloth brain, so like the part after this part, there's gonna be a death abuse. It's the only death abuse in the entire run.
Yeah.
So.
And if you missed that Malfoy dialogue, he said, "I bet Hagrid couldn't find his boot if it was on a map."
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be purposely.
Very brutal comeback there, Malfoy. Yeah.
I'm purposely skipping these chocolate frogs because we want our health to be a little bit low right now.
Last roll's a little slow.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good for Forbidden Forest, actually.
Fun fact: for some reason, even though these are clearly giant tortoises, the official name for them is fire crabs.
Oh yeah, that always annoyed me.
I think
Thanks.
apparently like under their shell they actually are a crab, but they're tortoises.
It's clearly a turtle.
I'm actually gonna do one more skip right here, but it's really easy. Like you just walk into the wall and it actually shoots you up and it skips doing an incendio. It's really easy.
Yeah. So unlike when you're doing a Fireseed Skip, for some reason this one just like gets you right up there.
There you
Yeah,
go.
usually when you jam into corners like that, it's like sort of a proxy, I guess, where the game just like to get you out of that spot, it just like launches you into like the next plane where it thinks it can put you, and since there's an elevation above, it just like throws you into the air.
Yeah. So
That's the only spot where it's really used in any percent, but in super speed, which is a miscellaneous category that uses the Game Shark code to run really fast, you can clip into a lot of corners and abuse that.
Harry
Good old
was
super
rescued in
speed.
the nick of time by the
So
centaur
coming up-
Firenze,
he's gonna do is he
and
needs to
rode
go
on
get
his
the
back
sloth
to
brain
safety.
so
Yeah.
that he can go
Firenze
to Four Eyes and
explained
then
the
continue to
unicorn
run.
blood
And so
had the power
normally
to keep
at this
someone
time
alive
the
who was
gates
an
open,
inch from death.
but
Harry
since he did
realized
Fireseed Skip, it's not
that the
open.
hooded
for some-
figure he'd seen in
like
the
even if you do
clearing
Quidditch Abuse,
was none
the
other
game
than
assumes that you've done a
he
lot of
who
stuff, but
must
still
not be
hasn't assumed that
named,
you've opened the gate for whatever
Lord
reason, so you have to do it
Voldemort.
again.
Yeah. Yeah, we also get the flute here, which we'll
that
be
was
using
a
here one more
close
time in
shave,
the
Harry.
run. It's basically just
if it
mashing the
won't,
face
boy,
buttons
go.
fast. Sometimes my controller can screw me here, or it might just be my timing, but I should be fine. But after this, I'm gonna need concentration because of Fireseed too. So.
Some, in fact, try it out and
I got a sound glitch. Oh no. Oh no, I got a sound glitch, guys.
What's the sound glitch?
out like
Well,
a
if
bee.
you
Best
get
we get.
like if the sound's repeating or if it stops, it could.
It could
soft
soft lock, but I have
Oh,
backup
okay.
saves, so we should be fine.
I've been
Like,
doing
I have-
some
I have a
reading
few
about
backup
Nicholas
saves,
Flamel, the wizard that
so-
Hagrid mentioned.
Yeah, that's good.
He's the creator of the
Yeah.
This
sorcerer's
game doesn't crash
Supposedly,
often,
if
but
it's here,
sometimes
we have
it
to
does
find
just out of
Ron and
nowhere.
I will
But
meet- come on,
it's
Ron,
rare,
I
but better
suppose.
to be prepared.
Yeah.
Usually
Okay.
the sound glitch will sort itself out and it'll get back on track.
Alright, so I'm gonna need some concentration.
Pendo!
Nice.
Very
Both
nice.
first try. This is actually a really good run for a marathon. Holy crap! Like
Yeah.
this actually might be PB pace. Like no joke. Like world record / PB pace. Don't get your hopes up though, because Sloth Brain's coming up, and we'll have them explain it before I do it. So I got slow
we
walk.
get-
So
that's like 2 seconds. So Sloth Brain, what happens is he's going to run along an edge, and he's going to set it up by using his camera and using specific like placement of when he's walking up against the wall, and so that when he holds up, he'll run along the edge and catch an edge, and for whatever reason, he'll start walking up onto it.
nice first try.
Yeah,
Let's
so,
go.
yeah, that's not supposed to be possible. This whole puzzle you're supposed to do where you pull the lever and then you go to another side of this section and then you just wrap around, and this just saves like 45 seconds because you just skip all of that. And then
Oh, I just took extra damage.
Oh, that guy got you.
oh, that's convenient. Now,
That's convenient, but also bad because I might have to wait on some cycles now. That's.
No, dude, you're at the perfect health.
Oh really? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I guess this is optimal.
Halfway health is generally pretty good.
So yeah, this is actually a really good run. Though. Holy crap! Like this is like super good. I'm really happy. With...
Phil also did a cutscene skip
Ravenclaw.
there that we didn't go over because he got hit by the venomous tentacula. But just
Hufflepuff.
by avoiding being in the dead center of that main room, it skips a cutscene where
Slytherin.
Hedwig drops off a letter from Hermione telling you to meet her in the dungeons.
Yeah.
Gryffindor.
So coming up is the
Gryffindor
dungeon section,
are in
which
the lead
we
on
skipped
house
with
points.
Quidditch Abuse, but we still have to go through it to unlock the
Is
upper
heating
castle. So we still have to go through the dungeon section. We have to go through this part called the Four Eyes Curse, where we have to kill 4 curses and to advance on out of the dungeons. Usually in the story mode, you'd be trapped in the dungeons because Peeves the Poltergeist put a curse on there. But we just have to go through this section because we don't have access to the upper castle / end of the game after Diagon Alley until we do the dungeon section.
Yeah, so like Quidditch Abuse does some very interesting things to the game, aside from the obvious skipping most of the game. But it gives you, like, if you do a skip, the game will give you everything that it thinks you're supposed to have by this point in the story. So it gives you the last 2 spells, even though you never attended those classes. It gives you the invisibility cloak and all this stuff, but there are certain story-based triggers that you still have to hit. And basically this entire section of the run is just doing things that were supposed to happen earlier in the game for the express purpose of making it to the final dungeon. So to get to the final dungeon, you have to have done the Forbidden Corridor. To do the Forbidden Corridor, you have to have access to the upper castle, and to do the upper castle, you have to have access. You have to have finished the dungeon.
Yeah.
So,
I also already have the Vertimilius spell, even though we didn't do the class for it because of the memory corruption. So I was able to do. I think that's the only time we do Vertimilius in any percent, right?
It is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, before
It's also the only time you do it in the game. Outside of the class.
Oh yeah, that's
So
true.
before we had Quidditch Abuse, all the old heads in Harry Potter used to do something called Early Four Eyes, which
Oh,
was
God.
so
Terrible.
completely weird. It was like you clip out of the ground and then you like guide yourself in the darkness, and you somehow pop up, but then you have to like make a 1-frame jump. It's ridiculous. Thankfully, we don't have to do that
Oh,
anymore.
what? Never had a
Yeah,
ledge grab.
it's like a 5 to 7 minute time save, but I've seen a lot of really awful skips in a lot
Oh
of
my
speed
God.
runs.
What is this
and
RNG?
Early Four Eyes has to be the worst skip I've ever seen in any game, and I'm really glad it's not part of any category anymore.
Wingo's getting patronized by the RNG.
It knows I'm on PV pace right now, so it's trying to screw me over now. We're actually going to be doing. I'm going to be going for one of the cutscene interruptions during the red eye. So if we hit the red eye and leave the room right afterwards, we'll actually interrupt the cutscene and we'll be able to move during it, which saves a little bit of time. But if I fail it, you lose like 6-7 seconds, I'd say.
Yeah, it's not huge.
It's not that bad,
Like time loss, but it's also just cool.
Yeah, it's awesome because you get to move. There's actually another cutscene interruption that I'll be doing towards the end of the game, and when you move during the cutscene, it has like a blur effect, so it actually looks really sick. So yeah, and this health actually is very good. Like I'm gonna be at like the optimal health. Wow, like this is pretty sick. Like, so shout outs to that random enemy for hitting me earlier because that actually put me at the optimal health.
Go Venomous Tentacula.
Thank you for the technical name because I actually didn't know it.
Yeah, it's just Piranha Plant.
So yeah, there's like a little ledge grab skip we can do right here. It's not really worth going for, but it's not that bad. You just have to jump at the right time like that. Like there's like the thing is in this game, we've already talked about before with the ledge skips, the little things add up. Because I got 2 ledge grabs, that probably costed me about 3 to 4 seconds in this section so far, but it's not the worst. So I'm gonna try to
This is a game that's like really simple.
Yeah.
But like the movement, there's like no crazy movement tech or anything, but it's just like a lot of small micro optimizations that add up over the entire run.
There you go.
Oh yeah, you got the
I took my
So
time
he's
doing
going
it.
to do something called Night Jump now, where he's going to jump around at night, which is very terrifying for some runners, but is absolutely free.
It's not bad at all. And then
Call
fails
me
it.
out, why don't you?
I
Well, I didn't
remember.
name you.
Hold on, let me just do it really quickly. Oh man, I almost died. Just kidding. There's actually an optimal way to do.
5 seconds.
There's actually an optimal way to do the blue eyes, but it can crash your game. So I'm just gonna do the other strat, which is was taking a damage boost during that cutscene, which the screen blacked out for a second. So I'm actually on 1 health now. So after this cutscene plays, I'm gonna death abuse, and since I have 1 health, it'll automatically game over, and it'll put us back at the beginning of the dungeon where the exit is, so we can just exit the 4-eye section like this.
And for some reason, this is the only spot in the game where you can death abuse like that, but it also keeps your progress, so it remembers that all the curses are broken. If you try this in any other part of the run, it actually dials you back to before you completed whatever task you did.
Yeah, it's really weird. But yeah, that wasn't that good of a 4-eye section, but not bad. Coming up is the last part. We're getting towards the end of the run. We're gonna have to, before we go into the Forbidden Corridor, to try to find out whoever's trying to steal the Sorcerer/Philosopher's Stone. We have to get past Filch and Mrs. Norris, which if you guys are familiar with Harry Potter, he's the angry groundskeeper at night that tells students to go to bed. And there's 4 sections that we do, and we're actually gonna be skipping. We're gonna be skipping key. So there's 4 sections, and they all have locked doors. You need to retrieve keys for each room to advance the next section, and we can actually skip 2 of the keys. One of them you're gonna see it's really easy. It was actually found really recently by Complex Beaver, a Harry Potter PC runner. The other one is not too difficult, but it's not too easy either. And yeah, and then we're gonna go to the end of the game with the Forbidden Corridor. But I'll let these two homies take it away.
Yeah, so again, this is a part of the run that is like during normal gameplay when you don't do the Quidditch Abuse. This is actually in the middle of the run. Like the Forbidden Corridor, I would actually say is the rough middle point of both no major skips and 100%. But because of the Quidditch Abuse, this is just something that gets saved for later, because basically you're supposed to go from the Forbidden Forest right to the end of the game, but you can't get to the end of the game without unlocking the Forbidden Corridor. So you do that just by doing everything that you skipped with the Quidditch Abuse. And this is the only section that uses the invisibility cloaks, aside from apparently the Peacock in Diagon Alley.
Also, because of the memory abuse, usually if we're playing this game normally, we wouldn't go to the Forbidden Corridor after this section. But since the memory abuse happened, the Forbidden Corridor door is unlocked, and we can literally skip past Ron and Hermione, who are waiting outside for you to go to the Forbidden Corridor, and we'll just go into the final section of the game. So
yeah,
this is
the trick. Go ahead, finish.
I was gonna say, this is the key skip that was found like 2 weeks ago by Complex Beaver, and this is all you do. So you climb up this bookcase. Pay attention. Ready? Ready? You just unlock the door, and you don't even need the key. And we don't know why. Well, I think we have an idea why this works, but
I don't think we're 100% certain. For some reason, it's something. It has something to do with the Quidditch Abuse, because it only works in any %. So,
yeah, it's
like,
really
it doesn't
weird.
work in no major skips, and it doesn't work in 100%. We don't know what it is.
Hey, like even if you grab another key in that room, which you're supposed to do, it doesn't work on any of the other doors. So it doesn't.
I have something special planned for anyone.
Yeah.
So we have 3 more rooms. The 3rd room is actually pretty hard, because you want to try and get the key in 1 cycle and get out at the same time, because of the way the room's set up. This we're gonna be doing another key skip, but we have to wait on Mrs. Norris, because she's on this beam right here, and she's actually on a set cycle. So once she turns around, we can jump over onto that ledge. And then this actually isn't a key skip. This is a cloak skip.
Yeah, like you're skipping the cloak rather than the key.
My apologies. So we have to wait for Mrs. Norris. So when she fully turns around, we jump over here, and we're gonna get the key. And the cloak was where Mrs. Norris is, but we can just skip that and go around, and there you go. So not a key skip, a cloak skip. My apologies. I'm very tired.
I do want to say, I think the reason that the Forbidden Corridor opens at this point is that the trigger for opening the Forbidden Corridor is having the invisibility cloak, and you get the Quidditch Abuse gives you the invisibility cloak. So the game sees that you haven't done this section, and but you have the cloak, so it unlocks it. Is my guess as to why it works.
So I'm trying to get a 1 cycle, and it looks like I'm gonna get it. If you get an accidental ledge grab, you can actually still barely make the 1 cycle. It's just a lot harder, but that was pretty good. The last
there is
room,
a way to do that part cloakless, but it's very hard.
Yeah. The last room is very easy. We're actually going to try to get a ledge grab here. If I can get it, it saves a few seconds, but if I don't get it, it's not a big deal. So we're going to climb up here, try to get a ledge grab on that bookcase. And I got it. Hell yes.
You oh my god.
This run is actually like really like this is definitely PvP.
That was really good.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. His movement at the beginning of that room was specific. Like he ran to the wall, and you have to actually do that because if you just make a straight beeline right for the bookcase, the filch is too close to you.
House point hourglasses are slowly filling up.
Yeah. So coming up, we have Fluffy, Devil's Snare, and the Winged Keys and Chess, which is the trials of the Philosopher's Stone. And I'll have these two explain for each one what I'm going to be doing. For the first one, I'm literally just going to be using the flute on Fluffy that we just got from Hagrid like a few minutes ago.
I want to mention a fun fact before this cutscene ends.
Of course.
So even though he's off screen, so you can't see him, but Harry is actually present in this cutscene.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, if you use the super speed cheat code, you can actually cause him to just bolt all the way to the front table.
That's so funny.
So
okay, so Fluffy, these two can explain.
So what it is you have to use the flute to make Fluffy go to sleep. So what he's gonna do, he's gonna go and charge at Fluffy first, and that's gonna cause him to attack. And when Fluffy attacks, he's gonna go back, and then he's gonna immediately go forward again, and then start doing from right to left all the heads in one go. So normally, I mean, you want to do it all in one go, but we used to do it where we would take have Fluffy attack again, so we can make sure that he didn't attack him again, because sometimes they can be really tight to get the perfect.
Nice, that's perfect.
But he got all in one go. It's okay.
I don't know what is this run right now, guys. I really don't.
It's very good.
It's really
it's
good.
very good.
This is like definitely like PB pace right now. Like I'm not even kidding. Oh my god. Okay, so Devil's Snare. We're actually going to be ending the cutscene a specific way, so we actually gain control of Harry earlier than intended. So
yeah, for whatever reason, like if you try to like skip all this dialogue, Harry gets stuck on these like little thorns for 4 seconds.
Try not to get.
But if he does the dialogue skip, I forget what exact words are.
I think it's when Ron says, "Oh, I'm so."
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So this is just like using your cursor to go into specific tentacles up.
that was a little slow. That was...
I see some people in the chat asking, so I'll just say it again since we said it at the beginning of the run. This is the PS1 version of the game, but it's being played on a PS2. All 5 versions.
Oh, that's very close. You might get pushed in.
Oh yeah, let's see this.
Okay, Fast Incendio there is actually really bad because of the lag, so I just took it a little safe.
Yeah.
It's hard to get it there.
I might get a push into the loading zone. Nah.
Oh,
you can actually get pushed
the wrong way.
Yeah, I got pushed the other way.
Ron ruined it.
So that wasn't that bad though. You know, I attempted it.
Time to put your good luck.
Yeah, so this is like another Quidditch area. So if you have any donations, you can just go ahead. And
yeah, this is perfect time for donations, Josh.
Ah, Quidditch, perfect. Okay, cool. I'd just like to take a minute to remind everyone that we're raising money for the Alzheimerfonden, which is the Swedish Alzheimer Foundation. I think that's what it translates to anyway, I hope so. But I'd just like to say thanks to all of the gifts and wills from private individuals and companies, Alzheimerfonden was able to distribute almost 30 million SEK, which is the Swedish currency, last year. Even still, the money is not enough to be able to support all the important projects that lie ahead. They could only fund about 19% of the grants that were applied for. So they still need a lot more money, which is what we're trying to help raise money for. So yeah, thanks to everyone for your donations and stuff. Speaking of donation stuff, I believe in the next run that's coming up, we actually met the donation incentive for the cosplay. So the run will be cosplaying as Harry, I believe.
Oh,
like,
that's awesome. And that's another Harry.
Yeah.
That's the Chamber of Secrets for Game Boy, right?
I think so, yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so if you do want to donate, make sure you look at all of the different incentives and stuff we have. We've got a lot of fun stuff available.
Yeah, why didn't you have an incentive to like dress up as Harry?
I don't know. I should have done that. I should have actually
passed off as Harry.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks a lot for all your donations and stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching.
You can actually get an Instagrab on the key like the Quidditch match, the second Hufflepuff match, but I don't know how consistent it is unless Redneck knows.
It's consistent. It's just like really hard to do it because I don't know the exact timing to do it. So I just like
messed up the lag, but it's fine. You can do lag reduction there, but I kind of bonked in the beginning. I don't know why. I think it's just because I was using the D-pad by accident. But
so next section is chess, and there's 3 chess boards, and Dill's gonna do a specific pattern in each version, and it's 100% consistent. And basically, Ron played most of it and then got hurt. And now you have to make the chess pieces fight each other, and they all move 1 square at a time, because this is how chess works.
Yeah, folks, this isn't regular chess. How you know it?
Yeah, this is wizard chess.
So it's like one piece takes the other out, then it somehow explodes. Why does that happen?
Also, there's friendly fire.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you'll have like the pieces of the same color just destroy each other.
And like there's like the smallest bit of tech to this where you can like try to make yourself go faster by timing the inputs, and that's what Windows doing. But other than that, it's just the auto scroller.
Yeah, like I got a fast diagonal down input there for the last move. And for some reason on the 3rd board, fast diagonals don't work except for the last one, which is down right. It's really weird. The last board, I think it has to do with the number of chess pieces on the last board because it's a lot more than these 2 boards. But I'm not totally sure why that happens. I don't know if anybody else knows.
It could be lag based.
You can
Also,
actually...
each subsequent chessboard adds new pieces. So, like the first board only had pawns. This one has pawns and rooks, and then the last board has pawns, rooks, and queens. And I think there's like 3 queens for some reason. This doesn't do anything. I guess they just wanted to make it more frightening.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you can actually
soft lock. Actually research chess.
You can actually soft lock the game on the last board if you do the last input too fast. So you actually purposely wait on the last input for the cursor to appear, or else you will soft lock and that's run over. So.
Oh, there are 3 queens. This must have been a really crazy game.
Oh yeah, this is actually like, you can still technically mess this up if your controller screws you, and that's not good.
I've killed a run here before.
Yeah, I think I killed a PB in Potterthon like last year or something here. I don't remember, but it's pretty dumb. But so I'll be able to do the down right diagonal fast, but on the last down input, I'm actually gonna be waiting a second before I do the input. So I'll wait until the cursor appears. So if I do it too fast, like that, there you go, no soft lock. Because if you do it too fast, you'll walk into the queen, and then you'll just soft lock. And that's it.
Because you're not supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah. So coming up is actually a troll chase. I don't want to call it chase.
My childhood nightmare fuel.
So there's actually a groggy troll for some reason in this version of the 3rd floor corridor, and you don't want him to wake up. Hermione, though, for some reason wants to talk super loud, so we'll let her talk for like a second.
It's what? Hang on.
She talks so loud, and then now she's gonna whisper.
Oh no! It's like,
yeah. So we're actually gonna be moving we're gonna be moving some objects out of the way, so we don't wake the troll up, and we're actually gonna be doing another cutscene interruption. We're gonna be doing another cutscene interruption on the last object, and it'll save a few seconds, but there's nothing really to this other than moving these out of the way, and you don't want, again, if you drop it from too high up, you'll wake the troll up and then it'll just die and you'll have to redo this section over again. And if you fail the cutscene,
it's actually a cutscene, so it's not avoidable.
Yeah, if you fail the cutscene skip, you have to do this all over again. That wastes like a little over a minute. So.
All right, guys. So coming up, we're gonna do something called cups, and it's actually RNG where the Black Knight is under the cups. So in the chat, get your guesses ready. Is it left, middle, or the right cup?
Yeah, get your guesses. If I'm gonna get the left cup, the middle cup, or the right cup.
If you guess right, you win nothing.
What do I win? Nothing.
Nothing.
No, get out.
No, get out. Yeah.
I did a little save.
I do want to clarify. This troll is in the book. you don't have to like make it fall down a hole in the book. Well, they didn't. You don't do anything. But it's in the book. It's just like knocked out already.
Okay.
Looks like you'll have to. Did you see the sim?
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I should have specified. It's not RNG to where he has to guess. He just has to watch. But it is RNG where it ends up.
Dude, if it was RNG to guess, this would be awful.
Yeah, it has to be like a run.
Flipendo!
Alright, whoever gets middle, you guys, I'm sorry you guys don't win anything. So coming up, this is the last major skip in the run, Claudia Skip. This is all or nothing. So if I actually get this, this is pretty much PV pace, unless I screw up fast foldy. So, and I got a ledge skip there. So
this could be history in the making, folks.
this could be a world record, honestly. Like this could actually be a world record.
I don't want to spoil it, but it is very tight with world record.
Yeah.
It's very
This run has been crazy.
Yeah, this
You're
run's actually been
close.
really good. So we'll see what happens though. I don't care if I don't get it. We'll see what happens.
I wondered whether you're far too in.
Yeah, we'll let you
We'll
focus
see
on
what
this.
happens. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Should work. I got it first try. Oh my god, this might be world record on DSA. Holy crap.
You just gotta
So,
get fast forward.
okay, I gotta take my headphones off. So you guys just talk.
Yeah, so the trick at the beginning of the first phase of Voldemort is audio based, so that's why Dill is taking his headset off so he can hear the game. But yeah, so the Claudia Skip is like a very, very old trick. It, in the past, has been a very notorious run killer because it's super precise to be able to grab the ledge like that. There is a pause buffer strat that Redneck and I both use that makes it like 99% consistent, but it also loses like 5 seconds. So
What he's gonna do here as holding is he's gonna move up against the mirror so he doesn't hit up there. And so when he's off screen, you can tend to get these pillars that will respawn on back to get these hits fast on Voldemort. There's 6 of them.
yeah, he wants to make sure he does exactly 6, because if he accidentally hits Voldemort too many times, he can soft lock the fight, and the only way out of it is to die, which loses 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, and Voldemort was in a sense that I don't look, he's not talking, but he just got one record, by the way.
Like, actually can't believe this.
One record.
Yeah, the last 2 phases are extremely easy, so it's basically a guarantee at this point.
Yeah. Man, I have to run this game again.
Just don't do super speed.
Oh god.
I can't.
I think this is actually 112 as well. This is probably 112. Let me think.
That'd be fun.
I had it, so 17 seconds. I think this is like really close to 112 if he puts it on the button mashing. This is something.
We're not saying anything. There's really not a lot to say about this portion of the fight,
Yeah.
so we're just watching.
Once he gets to the end, this is going to be button mashing until the very end. I guess since he's not talking, I'll try to time it.
Alright,
So
guys.
like, oh, he's back. Okay.
I'm back. I don't even know what to say right now. Holy crap. Okay, I'm gonna. This will be the last. So timing will end when I say time. So.
This is wild.
I think this is 112.
Oh my freaking gosh. This run was actually nuts. Like, it had barely any mistakes. Alright, time's come up in... And... Time.
Congratulations.
What was it? Oh my god.
Hold on. Let me see.
This might have to be retimed.
It's a 113 though, I think.
Yeah, you just.
Oh my god. It's a new world record.
No, it looks
Holy
like
crap.
they're timing. They stopped the timer early.
I might have to retime this offline. That's a new world record though. Holy crap.
That has to be an OX at worst. Like 113 OX.
What
That
the
is
heck?
insane, dude.
What the heck? I don't even know what to say right now. Holy crap. That's That's a new world record in Harry Potter PS1. Holy crap! That's it. Like that's the run. That run that's my best run ever. It had a little bit of mistakes.
What even went wrong? There was like some movement.
I failed. I
Voldemort's
failed the
return.
lag reduction. I bonked on some
Dumbledore
stuff, and
sharing
like
his
that's
concern.
basically it. Like,
Nevertheless, Harry,
And then there was
if our
like
backers do
you had
no
like the
more than
second best
sell
RNG in
Voldemort's
Toad.
return.
Like,
With luck, he
that
never
might be
regains
112.
power
That
at
has to be 112. Like.
Harry made
Okay,
his way
but yeah,
down to the
holy
end
crap,
of
I'm gonna
the abyss
retime this
slowly
after I get
that
off here, but
The
yeah,
great
I just want to
hall
give
was
a
decked out in green and
I want to give a
silver
quick shout out to
celebrate
everybody
Slytherin winning the
everybody
House Cup.
watching the run. I want to
And
give
Harry
a thanks to all my
there was a
speedrun
sudden
friends.
hush.
I love you guys so
He
much.
took a seat
Thank you to
between
the Harry
Ron
Potter
and Hermione,
community.
trying
Thank you to my
ignore the
amazing
stares of the other
commentators.
students.
I don't even know what to say right now.
The
Just thank
House
you. Thank you
Cup,
ESA so
announced
much for
Dumbledore,
letting me show this
was
run. And
awarded to the team
I
with the
really
most
appreciate this
house
opportunity, and I
points.
actually will be running
At the moment,
Ratchet and Clank 2
there
all
would
platinum
seem to
bolts
be
tomorrow at the
Slytherin.
same time. But yeah, get those
Yeah,
donations
the
in.
league comes in, it's like,
Stamping
do you
broke
think
out
you'll
from
beat
the
us next?
Slytherin
Try to
table.
see full record.
However,
So get those
continued
donations in.
Dumbledore,
Thank you again,
in
ESA, for having me. I
recognition
really
of Mr.
appreciate
Harry
it.
Potter's
I'll be back
pure
tomorrow for
nerve
Rack
and
2, and yeah,
outstanding
I have
courage.
nothing else to say.
I
So.
award
All
Gryffindor
right, awesome.
60
Well,
points.
on behalf of ESA, thanks for world
Harry's
recording,
table
so you
erupted
save
with
as much
cheers and
time as
applause.
possible for the
The
schedule.
additional points
Yeah,
won a
no
House Cup
problem.
for Gryffindor.
Alright,
was the
well,
best
coming up next,
evening of
we've got another
Harry's
Harry
life.
Potter game. It's Harry Potter
Better
and the
than
Chamber
winning
of Secrets
Quidditch
by
or
Conception
Christmas
2
or knocking out
on Game
mountain
Boy Color.
trolls.
So
You
don't
would never,
tune out, we'll be back in a
ever
minute.
Forget tonight.
I don't even. I don't even know what to say right now. What the heck?
Are we off there right now? Or...
Are we off the air, Josh?